Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Revisiting Disney. This is the series in which I pick an attraction, or you guys suggest an attraction or a restaurant or a hotel or something from Disney World, and I sort of play the role of armchair Imagineer and talk about how I would completely replace the attraction with something new while still trying to, live up to the spirit of the attraction. It's a fun, creative game, and it's a cool way to look at attractions in different ways and to think about what Disney World could be. And today we are here in Hollywood Studios, and we're revisiting Star Tours. Now, Star Tours is an interesting one to revisit because realistically, we know the fate of Star Wars. Star Wars was just recently refurbished, so it's kind of fresh, and we do know a whole bunch of Star Wars attractions are heading to Hollywood Studios to promote the new trilogy that's being made now that Disney owns Star Wars. So realistically speaking, we know this isn't going anywhere. We know this is going to remain a Star Wars attraction, but I think it'd be fun to pretend it wasn't. Let's pretend it's going away. So we need to put something else here. The rules I set for myself were it had to be a simulator-based attraction. It could not be a Star Wars-based attraction. Now, I have two ideas. One of them's really simple and kind of lame and really quick. I think it's a neat idea, but I feel like there's not a whole lot to talk about because it is going to be so similar to Star Tours. But that would be, assuming in this magical world there are no Marvel restrictions, a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction. That'd be really cool. You're in the spaceship, you got Star-Lord, you got all the characters, you got Groot. It's really fun. Ultimately, I didn't want to pursue this too much because it would be the same thing. It's a spaceship just sort of flying through and avoiding ships that are shooting at it, and then you get out of danger, and it's the same thing, right? There wasn't anything too crazy about that. Now, as you might have seen from the thumbnail or the title, this idea is a little crazier than that, but still very space related. This idea came from the fact that I loved when Hollywood Studios was partnering with outside companies to collaborate on an attraction. That's originally what Star Tours was. It was a collaboration with Lucasfilm and Disney. This was way, way before Disney owned Lucasfilm. Same thing with all the Indiana Jones attractions, same things with Alien and all of the films that are featured in the Great Movie Ride. I mean, Disney has a history of collaborating with outside companies and outside IPs. So why not collaborate with one of the greatest IPs in sort of nerd and geek culture, Doctor Who, the BBC show that's been going on for decades and decades, but sort of has recently seen this big resurgence when they sort of rebooted it like 8 or 9 years ago. And I think it would be fun to make that a simulator ride. Now, my idea for a Doctor Who simulator attraction is that for some reason or another, the doors of the TARDIS, and if you're unfamiliar with Doctor Who, the TARDIS is basically a British police box that is a time-traveling machine that can go anywhere and anytime in space in the universe, and the Doctor is the one who controls it, and the Doctor always has a companion. And in this attraction, you were all the Doctor's companions for this adventure. And so you've got the Doctor in the TARDIS, which is what the vehicle would be, right? It'd be a giant TARDIS. For some reason or another, the TARDIS doors get blown off like its hinges, and so you're forced to see outside the door. Luckily, the TARDIS is almost like magic, and you can have the doors open without all the air rushing out. So you've got this TARDIS with open doors, flying through space and time. You've got the Doctor taking you all on this adventure within the TARDIS. And I think what's really cool about this is that even if you limited it to the newer seasons of the show, and you don't go to classic Doctor Who, there are still so many distinct places and time periods and characters that you could revisit in something like this. It almost would be like a clip show. If you don't know what a clip show is, it's basically when, the producers of a television show don't have the money or don't want to spend the money to produce a new episode. So they basically make a whole montage of the best clips from the past. And you could do something similar like this, where you revisit all of these memorable planets and all these memorable characters from past seasons of Doctor Who. You can even revisit past Doctors from Doctor Who and get them on board, because in this magical universe where I'm the Imagineer, all of them will sign on to be in the attraction, even the 9th Doctor, who is one of my favorite Doctors. And I mean, I don't know exactly what the plot would be specifically that would take them through all this. Maybe the TARDIS is acting up and it's sending you through all these places in space and time, and that's why you're stopping in all these places. And maybe that has something to do with the fact that the doors have been blown off their hinges, and, you know, you're afraid the TARDIS is going to crash, and the Doctor's trying to fix it. And yeah, I'm thinking this up as I go along. But there's the idea. The TARDIS is like about to explode or crash. And so the Doctor's there trying to, fix it as fast as he can. And while he's in the process of doing this, it's sending you back to all these places it's been in the past with all of the past companions. And so you're reliving all these great, great memories. I don't know how exactly you would go about doing it, whether it be literally taking scenes from the show and just putting that on the screen, or going back and trying to recreate these scenes. That might be tough to do considering, some of these actors have aged a bit, but I think it would be a fun thing to try anyway. And, in my magic universe where this is a thing, let's just imagine they use ILM and they use the power of computer graphics to make sure it looks like the original thing. And you could throw in references to the classic Doctor Who episodes. You don't have to just focus on the new ones. You've got the great Doctor Who music in there. I think it would be a lot of fun. It would keep that simulator attraction core set in place, right? The TARDIS is a ship that will bounce around and throw you around, and if you've ever watched the show, it's not a very smooth experience at times, so you still have use for the like ride motion simulator jostling you around. I think it's a new property that you've never seen really in the Disney parks, and I think it's one that has a great fan following, and so it would be a popular attraction in my opinion. It'd be a great way to collaborate. I don't know of any other Doctor Who type experiences outside of the show. Like maybe, I don't know if there was something ever in the UK that was Doctor Who related, like attraction-wise, rides. So this could be a first for it. I think it would be a blast to do. Just as a Doctor Who fan alone, I think it would be a lot of fun. And so what I want to ask you guys this week, I normally ask, if you think it's a good idea or if you think it's a bad idea. I'm just going to assume you all think it's a good idea this week because I want to ask a different question for you. For all you Whovians out there, you Doctor Who fans, what planets, what scenes, what memorable episodes would you love to see in a Doctor Who attraction? Whether it's this attraction I've thought up or whether it's a different Doctor Who attraction, where would you like to go back and revisit? Because there's so much to go back to. Which Doctor would you like to be the Doctor who's flying the TARDIS in the attraction? There's so many variables that you can play with something like this, and it'd be fun to hear what you guys think. Personally, I would go with David Tennant. I think he's the best Doctor out there. I would love to see cameos from all of the past companions, except for the ones that you obviously couldn't for story reasons. I think obviously you have to get Daleks in there. You have to get, all of the villains from, these past few seasons and some of the planets. I think it'd be fun to do a healthy mix of sci-fi stuff as well as some of the past stuff, since Doctor Who goes all throughout time. And of course you would have to get the Weeping Angels in there because it would be great to have David Tennant turn to you all in the TARDIS while that angel's there and tell you all not to blink. Anyway, I love this idea. This is one where I actually wouldn't mind if this happened. If you have an idea for an attraction you'd like for me to revisit, let me know in the comments below. I have a card up that links to the playlist, so if you want to see all the other attractions I've already revisited, you could go ahead and check that out. If you want to let me know on Twitter, I'm @RobPlays. I want to thank you all for watching. Whatever you do this weekend, make the most of it because it makes it that much better. And I hope to see you all next time for the next episode of Revisiting Disney. Bye, everybody.